Hey everybody, welcome to episode 118 of the Toys for Games cast. We are recording this on a Thursday evening, the 1st of June, 2017. It's E3 season, and we're here with plenty of excitement for your ear holes. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined, as always, by Jason Greer. Hi, Jason.
Good evening, Josh. How are we doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Still recovering from a nasty little head cold, so if I sound a little stuffed up, that's why. But other than that, I'm happy to be here.
Good.
I'm happy to be talking to you, for sure.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask if you were feeling the sick, because you did sound a little bit raspy. I was just getting over something early. And that's like, why are we getting colds at the end of May, is my question.
See, with me, like, it's allergies, and then it's a head cold, usually right after that, and I know the difference. It's a very distinct difference. I could totally tell, but everybody just assumes it's allergies. It's like, no, this is a head cold. It's something different, but it made for a long weekend, but, you know, I'm pulling through. It's slow and steady, but...
Yeah, I had mine not this past weekend, but the weekend before that. Mm-hmm. But it was like, Saturday and Sunday was fine, but Monday I woke up with just a real bad sore throat. But it wasn't like in the throat, it was like right behind my right pair of teeth, like just right on the back side. And it's like a certain kind of sore throat for whatever it is. And I just cannot deal with it. Like a sore throat, cough, whatever, I'll just get through it. Sure. But this one just hurts so bad. And last year I tried fighting it through. This day, as soon as I got it, I'm like, nope, calling off work. And I went into the doctor's office, and they're like, well, it's too early to diagnose anything. It's like, but we'll just give you what you had last year, since it's the same thing. So I got some Z-Pack, and it was gone the next day. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I've been pumping myself up with vitamin C and whatnot, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm living with it. It's been a couple weeks since we talked. We are kind of getting to that point with our show where it's just dang hard to come up with a show every week these days. We're doing our best. We'll keep you updated when we have any official decision on going to a every other week format. But for now, this is what you get. Really excited this week, though. Not just because we're back and we get to talk about some fun things, but also joining us is somebody who I'm still not completely have forgiven yet. Still a little mad at this individual, so I brought him back onto another podcast to yell at him some more for completely wrecking and destroying my feelings a few days ago. Still haven't picked myself up off that emotional roller coaster floor yet. Joining us tonight, the one and only birthday boy himself, Matt Sonnenberg. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Josh. You know what you need to do is go find Squidly and hashtag hug the muggle.
He's next to me. He's next to me. He has not helped, Matt. For those of you that have not kept up with our Harry Potter podcast, Tales from Godric's Hollow, we are just approaching the end of Book 4, Goblet of Fire, and Matt just completely threw the whole Cedric Diggory dies thing at me just on a whim, and I was not expecting that at all. It was a rough week of reading for me, for sure. Matt, you kind of enjoyed it, though.
I didn't enjoy it, but I mean, I'm glad we got you through it at least.
When you say the words
mid-episode,
like people have been waiting for this week for a long time, I kind of think that, you know, there's a little bit of enjoyment in my pain being had. I'm dealing with it though. Jason, you understand me right here?
I feel you. I feel you.
It was tough, man. Like, so for those that don't know, we ended one week with both Harry and Cedric grabbing the cup at the same time and whooshing off somewhere, and then our reading was done. So I had an entire week to think about how they're going to break this tie, like where they're going. Are they going to the champions podium? Like, what kind of, like, grandeur, bigger plot is going to happen at the end of this tournament? And I'm just excited. I'm like, okay, at least somebody from Hogwarts won. Like, now it's between Harry and Cedric. It's like a one-on-one type of thing here. So I had an entire week just to, like, fantasize about, like, all these good possible scenarios. And then the next week reading happened, and, like, 4 pages in, Cedric dies. And I'm just like, this is very hurtful. This how did you let me go an entire week knowing that this was right around the corner?
That's what you get for not reading it for 20 years.
It's true. And see how like freely I'm just talking about on this podcast, like not even caring about like it being a spoiler for anybody else, because let's be real.
Exactly.
Nobody is being spoiled by it at this point except for me. So Matt, I brought you onto this show just so I could just yell at you a little bit more about it, because I still haven't gotten over it, but
sure.
We're not going to talk Harry Potter the entire show, I promise you folks. It's just nice to have you on, Matt. It always is. We're gearing up for E3. I kind of want to hear anything about Skylanders, maybe, but also some Lightseeker stuff too.
Yeah,
you are the utmost authority on Lightseekers card battles, so we're going to be chatting about that with you.
it's true.
In a little bit, so I'm excited. Let's see. Jason, what's new with you?
Not too much, just chilling. I did have one funny story I wanted to share though.
Yeah.
This weekend on Memorial Day, we went to Hershey Park, amusement park here in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and so we're enjoying the day in Hershey Park. Like, it's, to me, sometimes like I forget like how big people view it or not big, or like how highly, people view it. Because to me, it's just like the local amusement park,
Right.
But there are people who come like great distances to come to check out Hershey, to check out the amusement park, check out the gardens, all that fun jazz.
Sure.
So anyways, we're sitting there going through their gift shop they have there in a place called Chocolate World, which is like a free ride. You get to ride and see how they make the chocolate, and then you get a free piece of chocolate at the end. Ooh. And then they dump you into a gift shop, like all good amusement parks do.
Right.
And have a wide variety of different things. So they have something like the world's largest Hershey bar, world's largest Reese's peanut butter cup. You can buy like 2 half-pound peanut butter cups, which are fantastic. And a bunch of other random stuff. They like typically like debut a bunch of new things there. But I saw a thing that like literally is one of the funniest sights I've ever seen. I wish I could have like videotaped it without being like obnoxious about it. But there was a kid, it was like 3 years old, probably 2 to 3. All right. And you know how like sometimes kids like to put stuff in the carts, just like 1 or 2 things, put it in the cart and try to sneak it in without the parents knowing.
Sure.
Well, have you ever watched Supermarket Sweep? Do you remember that TV show?
Oh, God, yes. Come on now.
Yeah.
Turkeys and big cheeses.
Yeah. This kid was playing Supermarket Sweep with chocolate, and I'm not really sure if his parents really knew it was happening. But he's literally just running away, grabbing like hands full, like at least like $50 worth of like chocolate, running to the cart and just throwing it in like the bottom basket, and would just run away and just kept doing it. And I was like, do they know? And then like the parents just got in the line and checked out, and then like he looks to his left and they had like some like snack packs, and he just pushes them into the cart and they keep going. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I could see him like letting this kid buy like a couple of things, but most of it wasn't like exclusive items. So either A, they don't have Hershey chocolate where they're at, which that's like impossible.
Right.
So I really want to like know the story of it. Were they mad rich and didn't matter if they were like, there was literally like $500 worth of food in their cart, like of just chocolate. Which again, if they're going a far distance, it's gonna like melt.
Sure.
You would think, on an airplane or anything. But it was this kid like had like a binky in his mouth and everything, just picking up chocolate, running over, dumping it in the cart, and running over. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason. I think he was just going and grabbing whatever he could and just coming right back.
Weird. I mean, I'm sure the chocolate's like probably a little bit better that comes from there, or at least like has that placebo effect of like,
sure,
I got it from here, so it's better. But that seems like a excessive amount of chocolate to bet all your horses on.
Like, it literally is like he was playing Supermarket Sweep. He was just grabbing as much as he could and just throwing it in the cart. And I was like... But speaking of that, also, I saw a couple of viral videos on YouTube. I think it was over in China. Did you see any of those about like the opening of like electronic stores?
Mm-mm.
I think it was because I thought it was in like a different language. But like they're open... I assume, if I can understand like the context, I think they're opening like an electronic store like a Best Buy.
Okay.
And to celebrate, they gave 1 or 2 people... You got like 90 seconds to grab whatever you could and take it back beyond like a certain line, and you have to keep whatever you had.
Okay.
I don't go running in my life, but I would run like my pants were on fire if I had that opportunity.
I mean, you could pull 90 seconds out, to get that done.
And like some people had some pretty interesting ideas. Like the guy would go grab a flat screen and then lay it on its side, and it was just like loading it with like iMacs and iPads, and then using it as like a tray and just dragging it.
I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
Like some people had some, and I don't know how long like people had to prepare for this, but there's some people who, like they brought their A game, which you would hope so if you have a chance like that.
Yeah. I always saw like like when kids would win like the rallies through like Toys R Us where you got like an X amount of time to grab all the toys. Like that was like always exciting, but like I always had that like anxious fear of like, man, I would mess that up so bad. Like I would get like lost and I'd be like looking for something, or I'd forget to grab something, or I'd drop it all, or yeah. I feel like I could kill it as an adult though.
I think so. But yeah, like I probably would go and get like the $5 Lego sets.
Right.
No.
Think bigger, Jason. Think bigger. Go for the $10. Man, shout out to that kid though. That's just grabbing chocolate like nobody's business.
Dude, it was so funny.
I have a little story for you guys. You'll enjoy this. I went to Vegas a couple weeks ago. We haven't talked since then. So
no, that's okay. I was going to this podcast. I'm like, there's something I need to ask Josh about. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It was this.
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, I missed my first flight out to Vegas. First time I've ever missed a flight in my entire life. The most horrific, frightening thing ever. I grossly underestimated how long the line through security would be at 5 o'clock in the morning at an airport. I've done airports a million times. I'm always there early, but this time I was playing it a little too carefree, and I was like, I'll get there about 45 an hour before my plane takes off. I'll be good. And the security lines were just monstrous, and I was like, oh no. And as soon as I got through, got my shoes on, and I just started running. I'm like, oh god, I'm that guy now. I am that guy running through an airport.
Home Alone.
Yeah. And I was looking at my boarding pass, and I was looking at the flight number, I think, which was no, it wasn't a flight number. I was looking at some number, which looked like it was the gate number, but it wasn't the gate number. So I ran past the gate I was supposed to get on.
Oh no!
And kept going, and I'm just like, okay, this isn't Southwest anymore. I don't know, these terminals are not where I should be. I'm getting to the end of this, and then I look again. I'm like, oh no, I ran past it several minutes ago, and had to run back. And by the time I got there, I was there 7 minutes before the plane was supposed to take off. 7 minutes. They had already closed up, and they were done.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. If you say your plane's taking off in 7 minutes, I'm pretty sure I could get on that plane in that 7 minutes and find that one seat. Needless to say, I missed the plane. And the worst part was I had checked luggage. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, crap.
Where's my luggage going? So I had to get diverted, and I had to go to Oakland, and then I had to sit in Oakland for a couple hours, which I will tell you this. They are really excited about their Warriors. Really excited about their Warriors. Not so much about their Raiders anymore. But once I got to Vegas is really excited about the Raiders. It was really strange. So I ended up getting there. I got to Vegas about 2 hours later than I originally was supposed to, which wasn't too bad. And my luggage was there waiting for me, just sitting there. So it worked out okay. But the story I want to tell, have either one of you been to Vegas?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay, Matt, you have. How long ago? Recently? Like within the last few years?
Within the last 5 years.
Okay. So I'll try to lay it out for you, Jason, best way I can. This is a audio podcast, but the Strip, on the south end of the Strip, there's a cluster of hotels. It goes the Mandalay Bay on the very, very end of the Strip, right?
Yeah.
And then after Mandalay Bay, then it's Luxor. And then after the Luxor, it's the Excalibur. Okay?
Okay.
Then there's a street intersection, and those are all side by side on one side of the street. And then there's a major street intersection, and there's a walkway bridge that goes over the street, because they don't like pedestrians trying to cross major streets. And over that walkway, it goes over to New York, New York. From New York, New York, you could keep going down and you could go see the new arena that they built for the Golden Knights. And you keep going down and you'd run into like Caesar's Palace and the Mirage and all that stuff on that side of the street. But across the street, so it would be diagonally kitty corner from where the Excalibur is the MGM Grand. To get over there, you have to actually cross the strip, and there's a walkway that goes from New York, New York, over to MGM Grand. Okay?
Yep.
Now, kitty corner from that, so we have a 4-corner intersection here. We have Excalibur, and then we have New York, New York, then we have MGM Grand, and on the 4th spot is the Tropicana. Now, there's sky bridges that go across all 4 ways. You're never getting on the street at any one of these intersections, because you're just going across the road. Forever and a day, there's always been a sky bridge that goes from MGM Grand over to Tropicana. So if you're on that side of the street, on the MGM side where the M&M World is and Coca-Cola World and all that good stuff, if you're theoretically going back to Mandalay Bay like we were, you could go from the MGM Grand, cross over the street to the Tropicana, and then go from the Tropicana over to the Excalibur and so on and so forth, instead of having to go over to New York and then to Excalibur. Okay, they're doing a bunch of just construction. They're always doing construction in Las Vegas. So we're on that side of the street. We're seeing construction near the corner of MGM Grand. We're not thinking anything of it because they're really bad at putting signs up when they're doing constructions. So we're thinking we're going to go around the corner of MGM Grand. We're going to go up the stairs of the escalator that goes up to the Sky Bridge, and we're going to jet across, no problem. There's plywood and stuff all over. It's kind of like the beginning stages of like a haunted house at this point, you know, because you're like not sure what's going on. But so we start going through like this little passageway of like plywood and everything, and there's this guy sitting up on this embankment in between like pieces of plywood, on like a concrete like ledge, just kind of overlooking the walking path. And he's just sitting there. He's like, turn around. Just turn around. No exit over there. Just turn around. And we're like, okay.
Thanks.
Sure, that's weird. You know, okay. So, Matt, you're familiar with this. Jason, you may not be. But everybody in Vegas is trying to make money in one way, shape, or form. Right?
Yep.
There's people in costumes. There's people with signs just, you know, looking for handouts. Some people will be trying to sell you their mixed CDs. Demo tapes, like whatever their hustle is, they're doing it on the street nonstop. And, you know, whatever, not, you know, shaming them or judging them in any way, shape, or form, like they're doing their thing, whatever. So we walk past this guy who's telling us, don't go this way. It's not an exit, whatever. It's really weird that he's just sitting here telling people this, because he's just sitting here. He's not a construction worker. He's just a dude. And there's this older couple in front of us. Like, they're like in their like mid-50s. And they walk right past him, as do we. And we go probably about another 20, 30 feet. And we run into a dead end. And the old couple turns around, looks at us. And we just look at them. And they say, he wasn't BSing us. He was telling the truth. That's the only person in Vegas who has told us the truth in 3 days. And this old guy is getting mad that this guy just told us the truth. And like, and then we have to like stand there for a second, tuck our tails between our legs, and walk past the guy. And he's just shaking his head. He's like, I told you there's no exit over there. And then he puts on a beat and he starts rapping about how there's not an exit that way. I'm like, dude, you have found a gold mine right here. Like, you are doing the only decent, good thing, and like, you're making it your hustle, and I appreciate that so much right now. Because as we're walking by, people are going the other direction because they're not listening to him either. Nobody's listening to this dude. And, like, he has to watch all these people parade back, and he just gets to laugh and be like, I told you there's no exit.
That's hilarious.
And it's all because there's no signs anywhere. There's no sign saying not an exit, closed, nothing like that. and he just found this one little spot and posted up and made it his hustle. And I was like, you know what? Good on you, man. I appreciate that. Only in Vegas. Other than that, it was good times. Had a lot of fun.
Did you see what you said about your plane issues? Did you watch Drew Stanton's cloth map thing today?
I have not. I saw that it released, but I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, he's just like, it's nothing about the video game part per se, but it's just like his travel vlog of getting there.
Right.
But still pretty interesting. But anyways, he misses his flight, and he left super early. But I guess there was like 3 accidents on the way to the airport. Plus, I guess there was some. I think there was one other thing, and then it was like, I forget, a cop shooting was happening, or they found the suspect of a cop shooting. So it was like all the stuff that like you would never plan for.
Right.
And so he missed a flight by like the same thing, like 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, I used Uber a lot there, which last time I was in Vegas, Uber hadn't picked up there yet because the cab industry was like pretty reluctant to let them move in. But the hotels have super embraced Uber and Lyft, and like they have like special designated spots in front of all their hotels for rideshare pickup and drop-offs and such. And getting an Uber from the airport was like $12, whereas every other time I've taken a cab, it's $35 to $40.
Yep.
Yeah, Uber is the best thing to ever happen to that city. It's so nice, and everybody has like the fanciest, newest cars too, and everybody's trying to one up each other. We had this one Uber driver who had a sign in the back, and he was like, "Just let me know if you need any of the following." It was like phone chargers, gum, breath mint, mouthwash, aspirin, Kleenex, wet naps, just like this entire, he was like a little mini pharmacy that he was rolling in. And I'm just like, you know what? I appreciate that too. Like you gotta do whatever you can to stand out here in the city. So. And that, it was fun. It was a fun little couple-day vacation.
So that's the nice thing with the, the Uber star rating is what it is and can be some controversy, but that's, some people say the good and the bad side of it is that people have to keep upping themselves to get, like, the higher ratings.
Sure.
But again, that's what makes it successful. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that doesn't ever hurt the customers, so,
nope.
It was pretty cool. This one guy didn't pick us up because he couldn't find us, even though he had the exact address. And so then he canceled on us, and then it charged me $5 for it.
What?
And I was like, whoa, hold up. And you put in a request on the app, like, immediately. And I was like, driver canceled on me. And they're like, okay, here's your credit. And, like, just use it towards the next Uber. And everything was great. And I'm like, you know what? They're doing good things with this company.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk some toys and stuff, shall we?
Let's do it.
Our show sponsor, as every week, of course, none other than Devin Lachinsky. You can find him on YouTube, youtube.com/user/DLASCH2. That's the number 2. Go over there, give Devin some love, give him a shout out, say, hey, Toys for Games sent me. We appreciate it. Thank you, Devin. Let's start off with... You know what, Matt? Since you're the guest of this show, we're going to let you do this new segment because it's sponsored by you. And hashtag sell Matt's house. Matt Sonnenberg is the proud sponsor.
Buy Matt's house.
Yeah. Well, it was sell Matt's house on the inside. The internal hashtag we were using.
That's true.
Yeah. That was the leaked PowerPoint presentation was sell Matt's house. The public was supposed to be buy Matt's house. And, things got mixed up.
That's fair.
Thanks, Josh.
Ubisoft. Can't trust them with anything these days. Matt, you can be found on Twitter at SCLMats. You can go over to sclmat.com. You can check out all of his projects. Except where to buy his house, because he sold it. So you missed out on that, folks. You had a chance.
I think the listing's still up there, so you can see all the pictures if you want.
Oh, you can see what you missed out on then.
Yep.
Yeah, just teasing people with it.
Was the offer accepted, did you say? Or you just have an offer in?
No, we accepted an offer.
Oh.
Yeah. We actually had 5 offers on the house.
There you go.
Yeah. So, got that sold right quick.
Good job, Matt. Way to be aggressive in this market. Matt, let's talk about Skylanders, shall we?
Let's do it.
What's going on with Skylanders?
Well, Skylanders, most people, I think, by now have been able to find Wave 5. But if you are still looking for it, you can expand your search a little bit. It used to just be at Target. They had the early release this time. I think that might be a first for them as far as just like regular waves go. Like they've had obviously exclusive figures before,
right?
But I think as far as standard figures, they don't usually get early release stuff. So
I remember that.
That was good for them, but now many reports of it coming in at Walmart this past week or week and a half.
Yeah.
My store in particular had 6 Tide Pool, 4 Blastertron, and then 2 Pinata. So and I've gotten that report from other people as well. It does seem like there are more Pinatas shipping with Wave 5.
It's a popular figure, Matt.
Oh yeah. I'm no denying that.
What's funny though is I had been in my Walmart and I'd seen those figures there, but like I noticed that like none of them were the Rock Candy Pinata, so I was like, I don't care about these. And then like a day later, I saw your tweet about like them starting to show up in Walmart. So I'm like, oh, I guess that was kind of unusual, wasn't it?
Yep. Well, it was very evident at my Walmart because for the past couple of weeks, the shelves had been empty. Like they had a couple of creation crystals and a couple of mystery chests sitting on the shelf yet, but they had 0 Sensei figures. And so when I walked by and there was something on the shelf, it's like, oh, that's new.
Sure.
Like, oh, yeah, it's Wave 5. Okay. So it was real easy to pick out. It wasn't something I had to really look hard for.
Right. Haven't hit Toys R Us's yet?
What's that?
They haven't hit Toys R Us or Best Buy yet?
Not that I've seen. I know some people have been checking, but I've only gotten reports so far from Target and now Walmart. So I don't know what's up with that. I know like a lot of people have said GameStop have, really shrunk down their Toys to Life sections and they might not be getting more stock in and that type of thing. But I would expect Toys R Us yet to pick it up and maybe Best Buy. We'll see. And maybe Thrillipede was their last stand, but
they've been holding out.
Yeah.
Their last hurrah. Well.
Other than that, though, we're looking at since we have Wave 5, we're just waiting on now Lost Imaginite Mines, the last adventure pack we know about. It is out in a couple places in Europe. I've gotten reports from Germany, Spain, and the UK seem to have it, as well as Australia. It's out in stores. Interesting note in Australia that EB Games has announced that they are done with Skylanders. They are actually not ordering anymore. They will not be getting Wave 5. So if you're down in Australia, you're out of luck at EB Games. But I have gotten reports from Big W, I believe, has Lost Imaginite Mines already. So check that out.
So that's the last figure that we haven't gotten, right?
Yeah, Robo in Lost Imaginite Mines. That's, I mean, unless you want to include Heartbreaker Buckshot, but
nah,
I don't think that's coming.
Okay, so everywhere but the U.S. is what you're saying.
Pretty close.
So everybody that's still part of the Paris Accord. No relation, I'm sure. Has nothing to do with each other.
No.
Totally separate events.
I don't think these are lost coal mines. Lost Imaginite mines.
All right. Maybe
that's like even the Lego officially announced the Thor Ragnarok sets today, just like the regular Lego sets. And they're coming out like everywhere in June, but they're coming to the U.S. in August, like 2 months later. I'm like, oh,
that's
okay.
Backwards.
Is the movie coming out earlier everywhere else?
Not that early.
Because I know sometimes the Marvel movie's coming out a little bit early.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the case. They're just trying to keep it closer to the movie release to try and sell them better then.
Sure.
But who knows?
Weird. Disney and Lego.
Weird.
Unpredictable companies.
As always.
Well, Matt, is there, going into E3 in about a week and a half here,
Sure.
is there any rumblings of any Skylander talk at all anywhere?
So I think on your last show, you covered that leak that I'm not talking about, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to force you to talk about it here, Matt.
No, I mean, I'm just going to shoot it down as much as you did. So
Sure.
That really, there has been nothing, no sign of life. We know, yes, Activision is going to be at E3, but that's just because they have other games to show off. Nothing Skylanders related. We haven't got any press releases. Everyone I've talked to, no one's under any embargo or anything.
Right.
So I don't think we're gonna hear anything about Skylanders at E3. Really.
No accidental leaks coming from Judges Week like last or a couple of years ago or anything like that.
No. I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything, and I really don't expect to. Like anything we know about. I mean, they're not going to announce anything about Skylanders Academy at E3. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
The next big thing would be the mobile game that's probably still in the works, but I think that's far enough off. I mean, they could talk about it at E3, but it's just one single mobile title. I don't think they're going to bother with it.
That's a press release.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and even mobile titles in general, unless it's something like Pokemon Go, you typically don't even talk about much until it's the month before it comes out. I mean, sometimes we get mobile games announcement that come out that week,
Yeah.
Yep.
Or that day. Oh, by the way. Well, that's a bummer. It's weird. This is definitely a unique E3 for us. I mean,
New
none
territory.
of us are going.
That too.
Well, I mean, but we looked at it and it's it doesn't make sense for us, other than to look at new amiibo. And we know our friends over at Nintendo Wire are going to do an excellent job covering those. So it would just be nice if we woke up the morning of E3 and we have all these Toys to Life surprises. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, so we have to be realistic about it, I guess. But I don't know. I'm just hopeful for something, anything. But
yeah, that's what I'm kind of excited, because last 2 years, we've been there, and there's definitely something magical about being there. Absolutely, that's undeniable. But there's also something magical about watching it from home too.
Yeah.
And so it's the kind of thing you're clicking it now. I'm like, man, it's gonna be nice to go back to the old way of just taking off work and watching it. So I'm bummed how spread out everything is. But Sunday's just gonna be nuts, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I looked at your TV viewing schedule that you have lined up and for that Sunday, and I don't know how you're going to survive that weekend, but you'll make it, I'm sure.
Oh, undoubtedly, man. Can never have too many screens in the living room.
Well, we'll see what Amy says about that.
She's been okay with my 2 TV setup. Again, we'll see how far that lasts, but so far so good.
Yeah, well, honeymoon period. Just wait. Well, thank you, Matt, for the Skylander update. Jason, did you have anything to add to the Skylander news?
Nope, you about hit it all.
Knocked out of the park as always, Matt.
I do my best.
You're a treasure, a national treasure, and we're lucky to have you. But stick around. We want you to talk some more.
Okay.
We're going to pivot, though. We're going to swing over to LEGO Dimensions. LEGO Dimensions, part of the podcast, is sponsored by our friend James Holian over in the wonderful, the very beautiful United Kingdom. You can find him on Twitter, at Infinity Museum. James, I'm looking forward to visiting you, maybe sooner than later. Jason, what's going on with LEGO Dimensions?
Did want to mention, while we're in between the two things I meant to mention earlier when we're doing cleanup stuff.
Yeah.
Amazon, starting apparently effectively, or at least rolling out, will no longer be doing 20% discount for Prime members on Toys of Life collection editions and random bundles. Don't know when that's rolling out is. There's no Toys of Life stuff available for pre-order right now, so I actually don't really know it's going to affect or not. Because the only stuff available for pre-order is Amiibo, and that's all sold out on Amazon.
Yeah.
So when I tried a couple of collector's editions, it seemed to still be working, so it might still be taking a little bit to click over. I mean, as soon as the new Lego Dimensions packs go up for pre-order, that'll be our telltale. See if it actually did click in or not. But just something to keep in mind. 20% time frame might be over at Amazon, so many of you I know have already said you might switch back over to Best Buy. So we'll see.
Well, they've been having a heck of a time delivering stuff on time anyway, so.
I know that's what I thought has been like. There's been a lot behind the scenes happening with Amazon and video game stuff. So I'm wondering if there's just like literally it wasn't so much like a money losing thing. It's just them trying to get control over their stock and everything else. You know, so
they might have just been selling too much stuff.
Right.
Slow down, Amazon. Slow down. Well, speaking of Lego Dimensions.
Yeah, Lego Dimensions. We did get our official announcement finally yesterday for Wave 9 of Lego Dimensions. So this is the final supposed wave of Season 2 and perhaps the final wave of Lego Dimensions entirely. But all coming out this September, as we previously had assumed. We are getting 5 packs in total. We are getting 3 fun packs and 2 team packs. We are getting 3 franchises total. Headline, mostly people would say by the Beetlejuice Fun Pack. This is the one people have been most excited about for a long time, ever since the announcement. I think this is the headline, the one for me that's been the most random one that they added in, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could argue Goonies was up there too. So excited to see that. So fun pack of that coming out September 12th. Powerpuff Girls getting, as we previously have reported, a fun pack and a team pack. The fun pack includes Buttercup. The team pack includes Blossom and Bubbles. Teen Titans Go is also coming out in this wave. We're getting a single fun pack with Starfire, and then a team pack of Raven and Beast Boy.
Right. And we're not getting Cyborg or Robin because we already have them elsewhere, right?
Correct. Yeah, so none of that coming in, but just these 5 packs. No store exclusive, anything like that. So far, Best Buy is the only place that has them up for pre-order, but seems like every store should be getting all 5 of those.
Sure. Nice little way to end it, I guess, right?
It's a solid wave.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if there was a story pack mixed in there somewhere, but
right.
Yeah, we knew that wasn't going to happen.
No. And I'll get a post up hopefully tomorrow, if not, it might be next week, about the abilities. Best Buy did talk more about the abilities for each of the figures. And remember that Lantern Construct ability that was the huge source of controversy with Supergirl.
Yeah.
That, as we previously said as well, Powerpuff Girls have that ability. Confirmed that again. So be able to get everything like that. I know Raven has a bunch of stuff people have been waiting for to get in as well. So don't worry if you haven't got Supergirl yet. One, it's available. I think it's available Higher Hero now. It should be at least. And then obviously if you pick up any of the Powerpuff Girls, you can cross those portals as need be as well.
Sure. Matt, you excited?
Oh yeah, I haven't played in a couple of weeks because I had to put some stuff away for the house showings and such. But
what, they didn't want to see your whole game collection and Legos spread out all over the floor?
Well, the biggest thing they mentioned was we had our real estate agent came in and she's a accredited house stager or whatever it is.
Okay.
And just her comment on it was that people will bring their kids and kids grab everything. And so especially something as eye-catching as that, you know, like she said I could easily end up with a few less of them.
Sure.
I mean, that's something a kid could walk out with in their hand and parents wouldn't even notice until they got home.
I know. Yep. It's like $500 worth of chocolate in a shopping basket. I mean, gone just like that.
It's gone, man. They act quick.
Yep. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that 100% back that I used to have, and then they just kept updating, and my percentage went down and down. And It's not how it's supposed to work.
But I've finished the game. I have the platinum trophy.
Yep.
Why am I only at 62% complete? Yeah, I know the feeling, Matt. Yeah.
Yep.
No, it should be good. I'm excited. I'm definitely most excited for the Teen Titans Go Beetlejuice. I'm excited for. There's just so little fanfare around it these days. They're just not talking about it. They're not. Have they said anything about E3 at all? Like, even said that they're not going to be there with the game?
No. With this press release, I mean, you could go either way. Obviously, some stuff like this, you could argue it makes sense to announce before E3 so it doesn't get overshadowed. But I think this confirms what we were saying before, that they're not going to talk about it at all at E3.
Yeah.
I think this kind of got there just to, again, make it seem like everything's fine. But
they're pretty excited about that Marvel game, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, a couple of people tweeted out about it. So we'll see. I mean, the one thing I wanted to talk about too with it, again, just talks about. I mean, I don't say mini rant on it, but a new thing that's coming out with this is the Teen Titans Go is going to have an exclusive episode, like a TV show episode. That, as Best Buy puts it here, watch the exclusive Teen Titans Go episode to discover how this vibrant team of teenager heroes banded together as they stumbled upon a multiverse where they encountered new adventures and friends along the way. James Holian, sponsored the segment, thought maybe it might be, could just be clip scenes, like the cut scenes that they had for like a story pack or a level pack they might be putting together. But I don't know. I actually think it might have been an actual episode they had done for the game. And again, ties into that. I just don't understand how this game failed. I mean, I know how it failed, but like everything they had going for it, I just don't know how they screwed it up this bad.
Yeah, that sounds like just good marketing. They were trying to market it that way, kind of like I think what Skylanders Academy was supposed to do with Imaginators.
Yep.
Like they were tying all the new characters in, and even the created characters and the Imaginators and all that. Like it's just supposed to be additional marketing, really.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, again, to give them some credit where credit's due, like Lightseekers seems to be trying to do with like comics and videos, like they're trying to create like a multiverse, no pun intended, with everything evolved. They can cross it over, and that's what's been so awesome with the Lego Dimensions, that they could have. I mean, they got it working with Teen Titans Go. They could have gotten some other stuff coming in and out. There's so much possibility they could have done. There's no reason this game should have failed.
Well, I mean, like, even look at, like, the Lego Batman movie, where, like, the post... Okay, spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen Lego Batman movie. Matt, plug your ears if you don't want to hear this. Like, the post-credit scene, one running joke throughout the entire movie are snake clowns, right? Yep. And you don't think anything of it because it's a silly thing for Batman to be afraid of. But the post-credit scene shows the giant sandworms from Beetlejuice, and it's like, oh! Those are totally snake clowns! And it's like... That's a weird and funny and cool, like, intertwining connection to the Lego Dimensions game that's bringing in Beetlejuice in just a little bit,
Right.
Like, that was, like, a really, really cool moment when that happened in the movie. And it's like, all the pieces are there for all of this just to be this inner working, like you said, just multiverse. And it's bizarre they just let this one just flounder like this.
Hold on a second. Matt, have you not seen the movie, or is that just Josh is making a joke?
No, he knows I haven't seen it.
Matt, what the fudge, man?
I don't see it in theaters.
Matt only goes to the theaters for two things: Harry Potter and Star Wars.
Legitimately funniest movie of this year. Like, not even close.
I mean, I will 100% watch it when it comes to Redbox.
It's out, like, in a couple weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good, Matt.
Best Buy has a legit awesome steelbook. Can't wait for that. But yeah, and like I said, like the TV show idea was really good. I mean, a couple other things they've had, the story pack. I mean, there's so many stuff they could have done. I think it all starts with that pricing.
Yep.
That they just missed it so badly, and I think it's just them.
And then with year two, all the bugs and
right,
like the technical issues that the game has had turned so many people off. It made people not want to play it anymore.
Right.
You know, regardless of if they're having fun collecting all the pieces and stuff, it turned a lot of people off from even downloading the updates for it, because it's like, well,
right,
there might be my save file. That sucks.
Yeah, and like the season, I mean, the game was, I think, in a pretty bad shape going into season 2. No matter what, I think it was already like, I think they already started writing the wall even back then. But just the whole day one, oh, by the way, here's this weird download manager that's not working, and you didn't even know about until like the afternoon, and that's how you have to play the new pack. Like that whole, like, you knew that was, you know, it wasn't like they were like the night before, like, you know what, we should probably figure out a way we should get this content to people, you know? And like at that point, we should have known, like, it was just not good. Sorry, Matt, what were you saying?
Yeah, I just have to ask, you two personally, have you actually run into any bugs with the downloads and such?
Yes.
You have?
I haven't even attempted to download the stuff, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, well, because
remember, I had to play the Mission Impossible level 4 times just to beat it. And that included uninstalling the entire game and reinstalling everything.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Like, I personally have, you know, played through everything to 100% as much as I can, and I haven't had any bugs. And so, like I've been hearing more and more people complain about this, and like, I'm wondering if it's just a different console, or if what's going on. Like, I've wondered if it's really that many people, or if it is just that vocal minority.
I think it's a vocal minority. But like, I know of at least 2 people who tweeted me who lost their save file because of a botched update.
Sure,
but it's like, and it's stuff like that. That's like, 2 is too many. You know, like stuff like that shouldn't happen.
I lost my save file for the Ghostbusters story pack when the wave after that was coming up and the new update came out, pushed through. It wiped the save file or the save data of the Ghostbusters. So if I ever want to go back and play that, like, I can't pick the individual story missions. I have to go through and play the entire story again. And then again, it happened on Fantastic Beasts the next time. So, like, I can't go and select individual story missions on Fantastic Beasts without playing the entire thing over again.
Okay, did it actually? Because, like, I ran into some things where, like, on the menu, it wouldn't immediately show what progress I had done. Like, it wouldn't give me any kind of indication whether it was done or not. And I found out it was because there were, like, minor updates they made to those levels. So I had to, like, put a character on, and it would say, there's an update, and download that, and then everything was back to normal after I downloaded it.
No, I tried all of that, and it acted as if I had never played the story packs. Even though I already had the trophies and everything like that, it still was like, oh, you want to start this story pack now? I'm like, no, because I already did. That's weird. Yeah.
And like, I think at the end of the day, like, it's one of those things that you can say it's fair or unfair, but this game isn't like something like a Bethesda game where you're just like, there's going to be glitches and you're just, you know, accustomed to it because it's a freaking huge game, you know, where all kinds of crap goes down. Or some other AAA title, because you feel like, one, it's a kid's game, so you feel like it shouldn't be as bad, and 2, like we said before, they didn't change that much of a gameplay mechanic from the season 1. But season 1, we really didn't have that much issues, you know?
No.
But just this side, in which I think it's probably because they probably cut staff, and it was just people who probably had to do stuff they weren't accustomed to doing, or just weren't getting the full QA support as other games.
Yeah.
But that's why I think a lot of people are just like, you know what, I'm just not going to do this because I had so many issues. It's just not, you know, it's just, the problem is now, which I heard a lot of people, like, heard 2 or 3 people tweet me today when it's about September, like, oh, good, you know, now I have months to go so I can download the 45 gigs of updates, you know? And like, it's true. Like, it's just one of those, like, you get excited for the stuff, and then the fuck's like, oh, frick, it's good. I'm not going to be able to play the game today. You know, I'm not going to be, like, that whole, you just don't get excited for the new stuff because you realize what all is going to be involved with it.
Yeah,
sure.
And I get, like, some of the stuff, like Lego Batman movie stuff that they had to hold, but like something like this past wave, nothing was tied to anything that day, so like they could have easily released that patch like 2 days beforehand, you know, give people some time to download it before the stuff comes out.
Fantastic Beasts.
But that wasn't this past one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's days why I understand, and even that, like, again, maybe it'll just screw up the QA stuff that they don't release all at once, but they could release all of it, but that, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, if this game does have a lifeline in any way, shape, or form, regardless of whether or not they're planning to just add another year to this game or not, I think the only way to save face would be to kind of reboot the game. You know, like, as crazy as that sounds, like, make all the pieces still compatible and whatever, but, like, start the technical bean of the game from the ground up again, and, like, start fresh, clean slate, everybody's on the same page, you're not adding to something that's broken and trying to keep putting band-aids on something. Like, let's just start fresh, and I don't think that they're willing to do that. So... onwards and upwards, gents. And ladies. Let's move over to Amiibo, shall we?
Let's do it.
Amiibo, part of the podcast, is sponsored by the newly married Michael O'Driscoll. You can find him on Twitter, at Amiibo_museum. You can check out his wife's album. Her name is Anya, A-N-I-A. The album is named And the Light Comes In. It's on iTunes. If you want to buy it, it's on Spotify. If you want to check it out first, I highly suggest it. It's a great little piece of music, and we like Michael here, and we want him to keep the wife happy. So Indeed. Do it, please. What's going on with Amiibo these days? Matt? One day you're going to surprise me, Matt, and you're going to be like, oh, I am ready to talk about Amiibo.
Well, to be fair, I did just enter the latest updates into Collection Crossing. So,
Ooh. Collection Crossing. There's a name we haven't heard in a hot minute. Do you have an update on that for us? Do we have a breaking hot scoop?
No, unfortunately not. Oh. Just working on it behind the scenes yet.
We're waiting patiently, Matt.
I know.
Okay. I just wanted you to know.
I appreciate you waiting patiently.
We all are. Jason, what's going on with Amiibo?
Before we get to Amiibo, I just want to say some Nintendo stuff that broke tonight. Since Amiibo's so close and close to the Switch stuff. Announced the online stuff for the Switch.
I saw that.
Delayed till 2018.
Yep.
What, $20 a year? That's
perfect.
That's
golden.
But the good thing that many people would care about, they changed up how they were doing that monthly games thing that was confusing as heck.
Yeah.
Switched it over to something else that's confusing, but this is a statement. Jason Schreier over at Kotaku got Nintendo Switch Online subscribers will have ongoing access to a library of classic games with added online play. Users can play as many of the games as they want, as often as they like, as long as they have an active subscription. Thank goodness they changed that.
So wait,
yeah.
Nintendo is making a virtual console / Netflix subscription service to its classic game library?
With adding online support for, like, all of them?
Nintendo, you've done it again.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the thing.
Just forgive you your weird voice chat thing.
I wonder if it was something that they actually changed, or if, like, they just didn't know how to word it correctly beforehand. You know?
It's a bad translation.
Yeah. Like, if there was just, something going on there where it just wasn't conveyed correctly, or it was misreported, or maybe they did decide to change it. Who knows?
Yeah. But, I mean, Jason Schreier's tweet that says, Nintendo confirms to Kotaku that monthly classic games are not happening, replaced with a way better service. I don't know if that's, their terms or his interpretation.
Right.
But, I mean, they definitely did change the wording on the website, but again, It still could have been not purposely worded, but this is a much better idea.
Yeah.
I mean, again, $20 a year to have just that is worth it. 100%.
Right. And that, like, having all the online features, and if this goes towards making their online infrastructure stable and reliable, then awesome. Like, everybody wants it to be free, but good things don't happen when nobody's paying for them. So no, that's awesome. That's exciting. And that they're pushing it to 2018 instead of the fall of this year. That means, we're going to be riding out the rest of 2017 on Easy Street when it comes to shelling out more money to Nintendo. So, hey, why not?
Hey. But yeah, for a couple Amiibo stuff, again, for the CSPI reports of this week, I feel like we need an official segment for CSPI reports.
It's called the Amiibo segment, Jason.
Yeah. Wolflink looks to be set for another restock, so if you missed out on Wolflink, looks like that will be available soon as well, so if you need to pick up on that, look for that. Next line of Amiibo to look out for is June 23rd, in a couple weeks. That'll be the new line of Zelda figures, the 3 figures that we know are coming, all store exclusives. So be sure to look for that on June 23rd.
Which I have predicted will be the date release of the first DLC pack.
Yes. It would make super sense.
Yeah.
And one thing to keep an eye on, which there should be multiple things that Nintendo's here, but one thing to keep an eye on is this Mario Rabbids game that's coming, which I'm with Amiibo Jason. I'm actually quite excited for.
Me too!
Quite excited. I mean, I understand the hate and Rabbids and people, are too cool and whatever, but I think it's going to be a hoot. Absolute hoot. Yeah. Rabbids, there was a Rabbids Connect game I got for like 99 cents from Best Buy or something like that. One of the funniest, most fun I've ever had was something I paid $1 for.
Sure. Do you remember that little Rabbids game app on the Wii where like they were in the Wii remote?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you could shake it and they would make noise in there and do all kinds of stupid Rabbids stuff. I'm sorry, like, they don't bug me as much as a lot of people. Like, they're not as bad as the Minions, and, like, I appreciate that, like, they're just a little bit quirky, and they don't really care either. Like, they lean into it hard, and I'm okay with that.
Yep. I'm A-okay with it. A-okay with it. But, yeah, so it looks like it might be getting some kind of Amiibo mode, according to some insiders. This is from comicbook.com. And they were one of the people that got the first images of the key art for it. So probably the same source, I would have to guess. So we'll see. But I 100% will buy every single one of those if they make an actual Amiibo line of them.
Yeah. I want all the Amiibos to be just the Rabbids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, like, Mario version of that game. Like, I don't want the regular version of the characters. I want the Rabbid version of the characters in the game.
I would take a Yoshi with that blaster though in that pose. I would take that, but the rest of them, whatever.
Also, can we talk about how people are mad that Mario has a gun in this game?
Yeah.
Mario will be a frog. He could be a shoe. He could be a statue, a bear, a raccoon. He could be metal. He could be a bee. He could be all these different things. But the moment you put a blaster cannon on his arm, like that's going too far with Mario. I don't understand that. I'm sorry.
Well, it's like the same time like people said people are mad about Odyssey where there's like actual human beings in the same universe or whatever. Like it's whatever. Like,
also, those are going to be real humans.
Yeah, like, what is the official line that Mario can't cross right now? Yeah. Like, seriously.
Those are going to be, like, a simulation, synthetic type of, like, organism or something. Like, that's not going to be, like, Mario in the real world. They're just making us think, like, I don't know. People get way upset about, like, Mario canon and stuff, and it's kind of ridiculous.
What bothers me most about Odyssey is that stupid hat has eyes.
Yeah, people are okay with that, but, God forbid he shows up in New York City.
No.
Well, I still love the people saying, like, in the video when they're, like, the hat and him are looking at each other, but there's a giant brim in the way. There's no way they can even see each other. Oh, man. If they make, which they will, they're making official hats. Are you going to buy one, Matt?
Doubtful. I do not care for that hat.
Well, we know what we're getting you for Christmas.
Oh man,
be prepared. Yeah, I'm excited. We got that little direct, that little arms thing. What is it? Is that last week? 2 weeks ago?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's all a blur at this point. Was really hoping to see some arms amiibo during that thing. They did not show them. I'm still holding out hope that we're going to see them.
Yep.
for how hard they're pushing the game, it would seem really, really odd. Like they're pushing ARMS like they're pushing Splatoon when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we definitely have Splatoon amiibo.
Yeah.
And they keep putting out more and more, even though it's the same thing over and over. But yeah, I would be very, very disappointed if there are no ARMS amiibo at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The characters look pretty awesome. Like, they're fun-looking characters. And they would be really cool to have amiibo representations of. Even just a couple of them, but...
Yeah.
We'll see.
They, I'm curious to see how the game's going to do. I think it's going to fall flat. I think I'm going to enjoy it, but, like, even because a bunch of preview stuff went out today, and just completely unofficial, but, like, just looking at YouTube view counts of stuff, it's not... People don't seem very interested.
I think it will be a slow burn, but I think when it's all said and done, people will look back and be like, you know what? That did pretty well. Like, look how we look at Splatoon now. I don't think it sold gangbusters out the gate, like, on day one. But once more people started getting it and playing it and, like, giving it, you know, credit, it kind of built itself up to something. And, like, people are still having a hard time getting Switches, you know? Like,
right.
Once those start pushing more out, like, we get into holiday season, you know, like, I think ARMS is going to be fine. It might not be the best-selling game right out the gate, but I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be a flop. And yeah, I don't think Nintendo needs it to be a huge success.
No. And I think, because I think all the DLC is going to be free, isn't it?
Yes.
Did I see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
The one thing I need is, like, cheap Joy-Cons that I can get a second pair of. Because that's the one thing that's, like, not... Like, I think this would be such a fun, like, party-style game, you know? Have somebody over and play with. But, you know, I'm not spending whatever it is to get a second pair of Joy-Cons yet.
Well, you don't have to use motion control. You could use a Pro Controller.
One Joy-Con? Oh, yeah, but see, I would rather use the Joy-Cons.
I'm saying you can, but I'm saying there's options. There's cheaper options.
That's fair.
So, just tossing that out there.
I do like the Pro Controller. Still loving the Pro Controller.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the game will be fine. I think they're banking more on Splatoon 2 being a success. You know, and Zelda's going to keep selling. Mario, when it comes out, it's going to be a huge hit. Like, ARMS just needs to be competent, and it has to be something that people keep coming back to when they release the updates and the DLC and stuff, and keep that online infrastructure active. And, like, this is just going to be, like, the building block for, you know, the ARMS franchise. So,
yeah,
we'll see. Amiibo will help.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Matt the question of the podcast, 2 podcasts or however long it was. Matt, over under 10 new Amiibo announced at E3.
I'm expecting over.
Now, okay,
yeah,
we need a caveat with this. Does that include Amiibo that has already been released in Japan, that has yet to be released in the United States, or even announced for the United States, but possibly still might come out in the United States, a la the Monster Hunter and...
No, I would say that's excluded. This is fresh new Amiibo.
Okay. Does Matt count it as different?
No, I still think, since there's no Breath of the Wild this year. There's no game even that's going to come close to that this year.
Right.
I think basically their showcase has got to be Amiibo. And then all the other games that go with the Amiibo.
Sure. Odyssey. I mean, as of now, we still think it's end of the year. You know,
but I mean,
it has to.
How much can you really show off about another Mario game? How much can you really hype it up?
People love seeing Mario.
I know.
Also,
but
the more of you show of Odyssey, the less people are mad about Mario Cross Rabbids. So you diffuse some of that hate and anger with another actual Mario game, and people will be fine.
But unless Odyssey is an open world adventure a la Breath of the Wild, there's just not gonna be that much to show.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm excited for the the Ubisoft Direct though. Like when they just released that, I'm just waiting for what the energy in the room is going to be like for that.
Oh, it's going to be weird.
I will say I watched two different, because I'm full blown E3 like hype this year. Like, I kind of got past the like bumness I'm not going to be there, and now it's just like, you know what, I'm actually just ready to get home. Like I texted friends like, oh, we're free that day, we'll come over. And like I just waited to do this way. Watched two different E3 videos. Prediction for their game of the show, Assassin's Creed. So, we'll see. I think the year off is good for them, and I think they're ready to go with it.
Definitely.
I'd be super pumped if it looks good.
It'll look good. It'll look like an Assassin's Creed game.
It's gonna be. I mean, with oh shoot, what was the other title that Ubisoft was gonna have? Something that got delayed till next year. But like Assassin's Creed should be the tentpole this fall.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Just Far Cry is something I've got.
Oh yeah.
But it really didn't get moved. But
yeah, it's just 2018. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Lightseekers, shall we?
Do it.
Lightseekers, part of the podcast, is sponsored by our good friend Christopher Long from Long's Toys. You can find him on Twitter at CLong83. His YouTube channel is youtube.com/user/Long's Toys. Also, he does a podcast with a buddy. It's called Geek Each Week, and you can find them on iTunes and wherever podcasts are sold. And follow the show on Twitter at Geek Each Week. Lightseekers, I got my giant package of Lightseekers in the mail. They are awesome. I love them. They are as big as I wanted them to be. They have nice weight and heft to them. They light up. They talk. I am still surprised by how much they talk. Like, it's almost to the point where they talk too much. And it's like, okay, Marie, like, simmer down just a little bit, You are a little bit too excited to go run around and beating things up. But I love them. They are super articulate. The paint jobs are awesome. Like, they are legit toys. And
legit.
I am absolutely in love with them. Like, they are so cool. I've been playing the game on my phone. I haven't transitioned over to the iPad yet. I really should, but I keep forgetting to. It's okay on the phone. It's just a little bit too small for me to really get super engaged in, but
yeah, how big of a phone do you have?
The 7 Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like as big as I could possibly get, but it's still like just it's right there on that border of like I definitely shouldn't be doing this. And
because like I played on the iPad, and I mean I'm still rocking the iPhone 5,
right?
So like I couldn't even imagine playing on a phone of any size really, but
right
on the iPad it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm afraid that like playing it on my iPad, because I have like a 3-year-old iPad now, like it's just gonna make me want a new iPad. Like I'm just gonna be like, this is old tech, I need to upgrade, and I really shouldn't be doing that, but that's what I'm afraid of like getting really invested into an iPad game is gonna make me do that. But I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, right?
No.
Upgrade to a new iPad. But no, super fun. I love the figures. I absolutely love the figures. I am excited for them to eventually do more. Like, the rest of the characters look really awesome also, especially that fire character. These are cool. I'm excited to finally see them on the store shelf in Toys R Us. Like, they are going to stand out so much compared to everything else.
Packaging so bright.
Yeah. Big and bright and bold, and like it will get kids' attention like across the store. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what is that?" And if they will need like a couple demo. Like, I don't know how possible it would be, but like to have them set up to where you could see them light up and you could hear them talk and stuff would go so much further in selling these things, because like kids aren't going to know what they are. They're going to be interested in them. Parents are going to look at the packaging and the boxes and the price and everything like that. But like being able to see them and light up and talk to you and that kind of stuff would be so cool in store. So we'll see. We'll see what they have up their sleeves. But I'm excited to see these in stores. Like once I opened the box and I saw the packages, I was like, wow, this is well done, guys. Well done.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the comics and everything that they keep, not they keep talking about, but they've talked about before. Hope we get some of that stuff near launch as well, because like I'm just envisioning like if you go in an aisle and there's like starter packs and the packs of cards and the decks and these comics and like everything all at once, you're gonna be like, whoa, hold up, like you're gonna feel like you've been missing out on something, like something's been around for a long time,
right?
Versus something that's like a new thing to get into. So
yeah,
but I think the colors, everything is gonna look really well on the shelf. So hopefully it does well.
Yep, definitely. Also regarding Lightseekers, I want to talk about the cards a little bit. Jason, you're talking about taking them down to California when you go to D23 and learning how to play the game while you're standing in lines. I have one starter deck. I'm probably going to be picking up the rest here soon, but I haven't dived in to like start learning the game. It is like every time I open the instructions, I'm just like, okay, I need to be in that atmosphere with other people that are excited to learn to play a new game instead of like me watching a movie also trying to learn this very complicated card game, which probably isn't that complicated. It just has a lot of like subset rules. But Matt, you've dove in, you've played it. You are an expert at this point.
Compared to you, sure.
Yes. So tell us about the card game. Tell us about your experience.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even consider myself as much of a card expert as like Jason is, just from other card games. Like I never really got into too many, and it was mostly because like they've been around for so long and there's so many options and everything. I never wanted to, like I didn't know where to start. I felt like I was so far behind. But with Lightseekers, it's like I can get in on the ground level, and so it's like, okay, I'll do this. And I got into it, and like you're mentioning, the rules can always be intimidating. Mm-hmm. I understand. It's the same way with board games too. Like people hate reading rule books, but you have to at some point.
Sure.
Or someone has to. I mean, could I teach you how to play now? Sure. You wouldn't have to read it. Great. But yeah, it's a fun game. When I went down to visit him this past weekend, and after our first game, he immediately wanted to play again. So we played a second game, and later that afternoon, he wanted to play again. Like, he was hooked. He wanted to keep trying new decks or different variations of his deck or whatever the case may be. He fell in love with the tech deck.
Okay.
His first game, we just pulled out 2 random decks. And then the second time, let him look at him a little more, and he settled on the tech deck. And he had a lot of fun with that.
Do you have one of each?
On Kickstarter, I backed it at the level that was just like strictly cards, no figures or anything.
Right.
So I got all 6 starter decks and a couple of booster packs on top of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I had the full range to choose from.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a lot of cards. I still don't have all the cards. I need to work on that because I definitely want all the cards. Because like even if you don't play the game, these cards look amazing.
Yeah, they do. They're
front to back. You felt them, right?
Yeah.
Like you've opened some up.
Oh yeah.
The backs of those cards, man. I never seen anything quite like that.
Especially for like a new product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it feels like it's been a game that's been around for years, and they've just like caught up to like their premium model of the cards.
Sure.
It's like, no, these just launched. These are brand new.
So I don't know how much this comparison will help our audience, but if anyone has played Sentinels of the Multiverse, that is the game that I've heard of that draws the most comparisons to Lightseekers.
Okay.
It's another card-based game, except Sentinels is it's a co-op game. It's everybody against the game, basically.
Okay.
Whereas Lightseekers is PvP. So.
Right.
That's the major difference, but I hear it plays relatively the same otherwise.
Okay.
And really, once you get in the core mechanics down, it's all just about reading the cards and learning different interactions between cards.
Okay.
So the toughest thing we had problems with, like, you run into this with any card game or board game with cards, that you just have, it takes a while to learn their terminology, and even if it's not like the official terminology, it's just how they write cards. And once you figure that out, you can kind of start to figure out how cards work on your own. But the good part is they are super responsive in the forums. If I have a question about anything at all, I can put a question in there, and I know when I wake up in the morning, there will be an answer, because they're over the UK. And so they I think most of the guys that work the forums usually just check it once a day, but they're every day. They answer all your questions, and it's a great support system for how new and small they are.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of surprised they have time to do that, even though like they just launched
right,
or are in the middle of a launch. And yeah, it's been a very good experience.
What's the general consensus on the boards from like the community members about the card game? Like, are people enjoying it? Are they getting like really into it? Is it still kind of like a learning curve for everybody involved, or?
So there are like two guys in general on the boards that aren't moderators. They aren't officially associated with the game, but you can tell they've played many other TCGs, CCGs, whatever. And they occasionally get things wrong, but generally speaking, they are able to figure things out about how the game works. And so I guess from that perspective, I think it's well written, and they seem to be enjoying it. And everybody else that's on the boards, while they might have questions, they seem to be enjoying it and want to play more. The biggest problem I'm seeing is that so many people don't even know the card game exists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's I think that's the biggest problem right now. Because there have been a couple of people that jump on the forums, and it's like, yeah, I had no idea this was a thing until I saw so-and-so's gameplay video. And that was their first introduction to it. Okay. And it's like, they just didn't know it was out there, didn't know it was a thing.
That's interesting. Like there are people that are like heavily invested into like one part of the product that like don't even know the other half of the product exists.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I mean, I think that's the biggest obstacle right now, is to not only let people who are interested in Lightseekers know about it, but let people who are just interested in other card games know about it.
Sure.
Because from what I can tell, like it's a solid card game. It was well developed. It has enough commonalities with other card games that people who play card games regularly can pick it up easily. But it's different enough that it gives you a reason to play. You know,
sure.
It's not the exact same thing as some other game,
right? That
you can say, well, I'm just going to keep playing that instead.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. The nice thing I think with it is that it shows the decks right out the get go. That shows it's not like this isn't like a 2 or 3 deck kind of game. Like there are multiple ways to play it, multifaceted, which I think is super nice, having all those right out the gate. And it does give you a bunch of options for like some people who, I'll admit, as much as I love TCGs, I'm really bad at deck building, so it kind of gives you a bunch of different options at least to start with.
Yeah, and that's what we liked. Like, I had actually kind of mixed my deck already, and like I was planning on just playing with the starter decks that they give you when I went down to play with my brother. But like I had them all mixed up, and I know I have a spreadsheet somewhere that where I listed off what was actually in the starter deck so I can remember this. But I couldn't find it when I was down there. So yeah, it's nice that they just give you what they think should be a fairly competitive deck at least. Like the nice thing about the starter decks, which I mean it says it on the box, but I didn't realize it right away. Like I will admit I did not read everything that was on the box when I opened it. And right on the front of the box it says 5 exclusive cards.
Right.
And so there are 5 cards in each starter deck that are exclusive to the starter deck.
Yeah.
That is the only way you can get those cards, and they're actually rare cards. So they're actually pretty good cards.
Right. Good way to sell starter decks.
Yeah, and so they even have like the intro packs, which essentially have like 2 starter decks.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant so you can just buy one package and then you have 2 decks so you can play someone.
Yeah, that's the tech and the what's the other element?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Do you know what color it is?
Green, maybe?
That'd be nature.
Yeah. Might be. I don't know. Maybe I'm making things up.
In any case, yeah, there's that intro pack. But even though it has like 2 starter decks, those decks do not have those exclusive cards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They are legitimately exclusive to the individual starter decks.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to collect them all, you're going to have to get those. And then there's things that are like, I'm pretty sure the cards that come with the characters, like Jax and Korra.
Yeah.
Like, I think those are exclusive to the figures, actually.
Right. Yes.
Like you can't,
and their gadget
get them
stuff, their weapons and the flight packs.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to find those in booster packs.
Right.
So if you want to play with them in the card game, you're going to have to buy the figures or go to eBay or something, I guess. But
sure. All kinds of interesting little pieces intertwining with each other there.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're liking the card game though. Like, I'm glad that they launched separately than the figures. Like you said, like now the real challenge is getting awareness for the card game being a separate thing and its own thing. That can intertwine if you want it to, but doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it, like we were mentioning, there are cards that come with the figures, but anyone that's into this from the Toys to Life aspect, that's not uncommon.
Right.
To get a card along with your figure. What is uncommon is that card is part of a card game.
Yeah.
Like you can actually do something with it.
And you could also scan it into the game and get the bonuses from that as well. Like,
also true.
So many little different things. So
also worth noting, even if you've mentioned it before, mention it again because these are one-time use scans.
Yeah.
With the exception of the tribute cards, but I won't go into that now. But the biggest problem is that they don't explain that anywhere in the packaging.
Right.
They give you a trading shield like we got in Skylanders Battlecast.
Yep.
But they don't explain what it is.
Right.
Or and the only reason we knew
important.
what it Yeah, the only reason we knew what it was because of Skylanders Battlecast.
Right. Yeah. So heads up on that. Don't just go posting all your cards to social media, kids.
Oh, tweeting pictures.
Yeah.
Of that shield.
Be cautious and diligent with your...
Think before you tweet.
No midnight or later tweets. Bad things happen, like fake words. Well, Matt, you'll have to keep us updated on, as you play more of it. Obviously, it's not going to be something that you're playing on a daily basis now with your house being sold and moving and all that stuff, but...
Is there much, like I said, I haven't gotten that much into it. Is there much trading of, like, cards? Like, taking, like, do I take your cards at all, or you take mine, or is it pretty much your deck stays your deck?
Oh, no. Your deck stays your deck.
Okay. Like, theoretically, could you play this over Skype easily?
In theory, if you really like, the only thing is like my cards could affect your cards and your cards could affect my cards.
Yeah.
So like if you knew what they were, and obviously it would help if you had a camera on them.
Right.
Like if you could do that, like, I think you'd be fine. Or even if you just made notes of it somewhere. But right. Yeah, you could theoretically play it over Skype.
Interesting.
Yeah. Doable if you really wanted to dig that far into it.
Yeah. The really interesting part is, like, it's not really plausible right now, but the game is actually built. So, like, they sell it by each element or order, but you can actually cross orders in your deck, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, like, you could have, like, you could start putting nature cards into your tech deck.
Sure.
You might not be able to play them depending on if you have the right items and cards, and, like, there's other factors that play into that.
Right.
But it has potential for future use. Like, they already have some cards that require 2 different orders to be able to play them. Okay. So they're thinking about this already.
Sure, they're playing the long game here.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, we'll check back in after a while once more people start getting into it. As you become more and more of an expert, Matt, you'll have to keep us updated on new and fun developments with the game and that kind of stuff. So
sounds good.
We are going to swing over to our community question now. This week, for the response of the week, going to give away another mystery box packed full of goodies sent directly to your humble abode. It will be sitting on your doorstep when you get home from work or school or the bar or wherever you're coming home from. It'll be there waiting for you at some point. It'll be a nice little surprise. This week, the question is, because the 2 people on this podcast that are most excited for this time of year, I figured this would be perfect question for them. What is your favorite part of summer and why? I know you guys both love the heat and everything that comes with summer.
So much.
Did we get some responses, Jason?
We did. We got quite a few.
Okay.
So we'll run down the list here. We got Dark TJ. Says his favorite part of summer is when it's over. I'm sick of the sun and all these California bikini babes looking at my chiseled beach bod. And it's been a great show. And
just shut it down. It's just, we're done. It's over.
Oh my. Logs Toy says new movies. There are a ton this year. Alan Wilkinson says, last time I answered this question, she tried to kill me. So they're probably countering heat with ice cream. That's always fun. Ice cream is always a yes in the summertime.
Yeah.
Guadalupe says, actually seeing my family because every college student misses their mom's cooking. That's very true. Mateo says, watching the E3 coverage, but really only the Nintendo stuff. Also braving the heat at Disney World in July is the best. Do you remember when like E3, wasn't it like in May originally, or April or May? It was earlier, and then they moved it to like June.
What, E3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was May.
I think it was May. I'm glad it's back in June.
Yeah. Question. Did you,
yes.
When you were in college, did you go home every summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went on trips anywhere. I always came home for breaks. I don't think there was a single break where I didn't come home.
That seems like something you would do, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I brought friends home. I don't think I ever went to anyone's. Yeah, I don't think I ever went to someone's house on break.
Yeah.
I think I always brought somebody home. Let's see. Brian says, it used to be barbecue with friends, visiting, but now it's just friends visiting, no meat for me for a few weeks. Being old sucks. That's not good.
No.
JJoy7 Gaming says that the UK finally gets to experience its annual 3 days of sunshine. 3 annual days of sunshine. Look forward to them and make sure to embrace them all.
Yeah, take advantage of those 3 days, please.
Duels and Choices, long stretches of gaming and TV binging with no consequences. Ben Anderson says, being able to hang out with all my friends, being able to finally play some video games, and just being able to relax. Jeff Grimes says, air conditioning, it's too hot outside. Amen, Jeff Grimes, amen. Tari Ox says, bring myself an E3 news and trailers and watching EVO. Evan Park says, a brief respite from seasonal affective disorder. Tori Ross says, finding all kinds of cool animals, turtles fishing, bird watching, salamander searching, and bugs like butterflies and mantises. All kinds of fun stuff. Brady James says, swimming because I get to cool down, hang out with friends and family, and play volleyball, have ice cream, and listen to a certain podcast. Probably not the award-winning Godric's Hollow, I would presume. Assume this show. My favorite part of summer is that everyone turns into fall. Amen. Amen. Amen.
He was playing right into your hand on that one.
And then Shopkins Inc. says, when it's time for a Shopkins vacation, hashtag season 8. Which I did see, let me see, my local Toys R Us Instagram page today saying that Ultimate Shopkins Swapkins Party is coming to Toys R Us on June 10th.
Ooh.
2 to 4 p.m. at all Toys R Us stores.
It's been a hot minute since we had one of those.
I know, right?
A lot of good answers. A lot of people are relatively excited for summer. Some of those are just ready for summer to be over, it sounds like. Matt, since you're the guest here, I'm going to let you pick who had the response of the week.
Surprise, surprise. We're going to give it to Mateo this week.
All right.
E3 coverage, and I mean, Disney World. I really want to get back to Disney.
Yeah. Disney World in July, though. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, no.
No?
I'll survive.
I really want to check out that Avatar Land.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That ride sounds amazing.
I haven't watched like anything about it because I know I'm going in like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Per se. Like I'm trying to keep it as fresh as possible and just enjoying it.
Right.
But
there's a guy on IGN. He wrote a story. He was there for like the opening of it, or like members of the press got to like check it out like a couple days before it officially opened. And he he's saying he's been on rides and at amusement parks all over the world, and that ride that they have at the Avatar Land might be his favorite ride that he's ever been on in his entire life.
The 3D one? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said he went on it 6 times in one day. Like, he was just like, I can't get enough of it. It's incredible. Just when you think that like they've done it all when it comes to rides and like that kind of experience, like Disney goes and does this. So
I heard apparently like the 3D isn't so much like a depth perception of it. So they kept the quality, like you could, apparently it's a really good screen even without the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the 3D is so finely tuned or whatever that it's just the glasses add just a little bit of depth without affecting picture quality. So it actually is more engrossing into the image because it's so clear.
Right.
So excited to check that out.
I just need to get to Florida. There's so many things down there in Florida that I need to check out. Right, Matt?
Oh, yeah. And thankfully, they're all in the same city.
Even better. There's a dragon on a bank that I need to have a word with and do some investigating. So,
since I know what you're referencing,
yeah,
I will say too. I mean, it's not a secret now. Amy and I are talking about going to Europe for our honeymoon.
Ooh.
And talking about maybe going up to UK.
Oh, are you going to hit the Warner Brothers studio?
We are probably going to hit the Warner Brothers studio tour.
Dang it.
And
would it be weird if Matt and I went with you?
Yeah.
Maybe run that by Amy first, but
I was going to say, Becca would come along too, I think.
Yeah. But this is all within the last week. We're reshuffling some plans. But yeah, I was slipping through because I was like, her and I are like sightseers kind of thing, but we didn't want to go and just do touristy things per se, just like see the sights. But I was like, we also want to go enjoy some other things. And I was like, what else would there be fun to check out in London? And I'm like, oh, Warner Brothers studio tour. And the building's massive. So
yeah.
Well, you just made Matt jealous.
Sorry, Matt. I'll drink out my Skylanders cup while I'm up there.
There's no way they're letting you take that on a plane. Get out of here.
He would check it just so he could.
Have his beverages, his in-flight beverages served in that thing. Fill it up, please. One last thing on the show before we get out of here. We got some emails to cover. The email part of the podcast is sponsored by a good friend, Evan Parker, a.k.a. the Lone Goldfish. You can catch him occasionally on twitch.tv/the Lone Goldfish, or just go harass him on Twitter at the Lone Goldfish. Say hi. He'll probably say hi back, because he's a good dude. Emails this week. We had one that came in after our last show, and we've kind of been holding on to it until we've recorded again. This one is from Jeffrey Moss. It says, well, hello there, gents. With so many interesting things going on with the Toys to Life genre, there has been a small question that has me very curious. Where on earth is Infinite Arms? They mysteriously came out of the gate, guns blazing, even to the point of almost being available for pre-order on Amazon, but then, like a puff of smoke in the night, they vanished. What happened? Did the abundance of the genre scare them off? Were there too many issues in developing? I'll pause it there so you guys can answer.
I have no idea. I haven't got to the point where like try to stalk the people we know who are working on it, like their Twitter profiles. Maybe I'll do that now. But yeah, I have no idea. The only thing I can think of is they got bought. But
and maybe pivoted to something else without being able to talk about it.
Right.
Huh, that'd be interesting. He goes on to say, also, I loved your wish prediction of a new Toys to Life game being announced at E3. But if this was true, what would you like to see in a brand new IP in this genre we all love? I personally would love superheroes. Disney Infinity scratched the surface with this. But if someone took new original heroes and made an amazing open world game, I think it could turn out awesome. Thanks for the hours of entertainment and the great work that you do. So is there anything like a new IP that you would like to see in this genre?
I don't actually think any. I don't know if it's better to do fresh IP or do pull it from a certain already existing IP. I think existing IP does better, but I don't know. There's multiple things you could say would be a great Toys to Life idea.
Yeah, I mean, superheroes are always fun. Star Wars I think would do really well, but I can't imagine Disney wanting to get back into that game. So it's tough. Like, new IPs are tough. I mean, this is what we were concerned with Lightseekers, because they try to, hitch their wagons to like a brand new universe that they were creating, and they've done well so far. But it's an uphill battle when you have no name recognition with the customer base, especially like the casual customers out there. Yep. Lego Dimensions, it was easy to sell, Batman and Superman and Harry Potter to Doctor Who to casual people. But when you start getting into like this entire fictional universe that you're creating on a whim, it's a harder sell. So you obviously have more options as far as like how creative and imaginative you could be with the characters in the world, but sometimes having those hard limits of characters that people are familiar with make it easier. So yeah, it's tough. Rose F. Death sent in a question. He says, what's up, guys? Rose F. Death here. Hope all is well with you with all of your collection. I have a favor to ask. Maybe your word could get out more than mine can. I was curious if you could ask the community if there's anybody out there still collecting or willing to trade for some Mario All-Star Amiibo cards. I still need 13 of them. I really don't want to buy packs of 5 for $6 in hopes of getting one card here and one card there. Thank you and happy collecting. So, shout out to the community. If anybody has Mario All-Star Amiibo cards, if you're collecting them, if you're looking for some, if you have some that you bought that you regret and you want to get rid of, if there was an app that you could go to, let's say called, I don't know, Collection Crossing or something, where you could have like a really solid checklist of all these cards that you had and that you were missing, that would be phenomenal. Until that genius idea comes to fruition, we're going to have to do this the old school way. And we're just going to have to word of mouth it. So people out there, if you have Mario All-Star Amiibo cards, Get a hold of Rose F Death. He's Rose F Death on Twitter. Or get a hold of us and we'll put you in contact with him. He's looking to trade. He needs 13 of them. Let's see if we can make this happen for him and anybody else out there looking for the same. How's your collection, Jason?
I got 5 packs and haven't had any doubles yet.
Okay.
But there were nothing really on sale, so I haven't gone like crazy on them at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Once they go on sale, it'll be fun. I'm Matt, did you collect them?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I thought about it for a little while because it was Mario and it's sports and like I would have more fun collecting that than like the Animal Crossing cards. But yeah, I haven't gotten into it.
Yeah.
I'm busy stalking people on LinkedIn.
Okay.
That's always a fun day.
Yeah.
Careful, you're going to start getting LinkedIn
Yasuo,
notifications.
who was the chief fast toy officer for Jumo, still listing as present April 2015 to now.
Okay.
Chris Asaki, the CCO, chief creative officer, still showing 2014 to present. But Akio Fuji, who was the chief strategy officer, was showing as leaving the company in May of 2017 and is currently searching for a new job.
Ooh, interesting.
So that was only last month. So
with all these official titles, and you just made me start thinking about Silicon Valley again.
Yeah.
God, that show's so good. So
gosh,
good. I'm finally caught up now, and man, it's so good.
Seafood.
I will never look at hot dogs the same way. I will tell you that much. Like, goodness gracious.
This is not hot dog.
I genuinely laughed out loud when that happened.
Jin Yang.
Oh, it's gonna be a weird show when he leaves. That's for sure.
Dude, what's the guy, the friend who doesn't do anything but keeps making all the like the millions of dollars?
Big Head.
Yeah, Big Head. I'm going through Scandal right now on ABC. I'm going through it on Netflix.
Okay.
And he made a guest appearance in that show. He's the exact same kind of character, and like 100%. Like I can't see that guy in any other role besides like just like an entitled college kid. Like I don't know what he's gonna do in 10 years. You know.
Well, he was in that movie, The Interns, with Owen Wilson.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and what's his name? Vince Vaughn, where they were like interns in Google. Like he was like a team leader at Google. Same character, exact same character.
But when he gets the thing at Stanford and he's just sitting there drinking his big gulp. What's my name on the board? Oh no! and they're actually telling about all the different movies, and what was the movie that he found out had like 2 sequels? He's like,
Tron.
Yeah. That gives you a couple more things.
The show's great. That show is so good. So I'm so mad at people for never telling me about it. Next email we got. This is from Gamers Haven. Says, "Hey guys. Oh, it's Ben Anderson. Hey Ben Anderson.
What's up, man?
So for my birthday last week, I went to Toys R Us and decided to spoil myself. Always a good place to do so. I walked in planning on getting Skylanders figures, Lego Dimensions figures, or maybe Pokemon cards. But when I walked in, I had a change of mind. Sitting right at the front counter were Lightseekers cards. Yep. I had completely forgotten it was available now, and decided that that was what I was going to get myself. I bought the dual pack that comes with the 2 starter decks, and my friend and I have been having loads of fun playing with them. I wanted to thank you guys for talking about Lightseekers, as I would have never known about it if not for you guys." Well, Ben, you're welcome, and glad you're liking it. And if you have any questions about the game, be sure to hit up Matt at SCL Matt. He will answer all your Lightseekers cards questions. He will probably just take your question, go to the forums, post it there, get a response back the next day, then he'll hit you back. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
I'll say it is nice though. Like it was when the card game launched at Toys R Us. It was a nice thing on the shelf. But then when I was checking out, I just saw they had both the dual starter packs there on the checkout, and also just a box of the single packs.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know if you buy that space or if that's just, where the store puts in there, but that's a prime spot as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what this says, but I know, like, I've picked up several booster packs from their display. And when I went back in the other day, like, the display was, like, completely faced and, like, filled. So I don't know, like, how much had been sold, or if, like, they just replenished, like, those few packs that I had bought, or what the deal is. Right. But, like, it's nice seeing a full display, but then, like, I know that also kind of scares people, thinking that, like, nobody's buying the product as well.
Right.
So I don't know how what to make of any of that, but I know I've been picking up stuff from it, and it keeps getting, more stuff keeps getting put out. Whereas, like, Skylanders, like, I see the same ones there all the time. Yep. And, like, they're, like, moved in the same way that I moved them the last time, looking for chase variants. Like, they're still off kilter just a little bit, like, there's a dust line around them. And, so, just a little side note there. Next email, this is from our friend Alex. It says, Dear Josh, Jason, and Matt, happy June. I hope you guys are staying cool up there in the north. I'm trying to enjoy my last Texas summer for the foreseeable future, as I'll be moving to Syracuse in August to start law school.
Ooh.
Guadalupe, I'm sorry you and I will be missing each other by a couple of months, but if you have any recommendations on surviving school or the winter, hit me up. So Guadalupe, please do that. Anywho, with my unwarranted solicitation for advice out of the way, I would probably ask a question. It's not exactly Toys to Life related, but with E3 around the corner and the superstars of gaming industry preparing their yearly migration to LA, if you could meet one video game bigwig and could ask them one question, who would it be and what would you ask?
JV, and what in the world are you up to right now?
What was your severance package like? You got big head money for leaving that company.
Legit, Gabe Newell, and what the heck is going on with Half-Life? That's all I need to know.
Yeah. The answer is nothing, because Steam is doing quite well for them.
Well, that's the thing, because there are some games slowly, because I guess Steam takes like 30% cut, and like Destiny is not going to be on Steam, which that's a big game not to be on Steam. And a couple other games are going to their own thing. So, like, Steam, they have to tilt a little bit. Like, they're adding some movies, like, where that new movie that's coming up exclusively on Steam. So there is some stuff on there, but I'm curious if they're going to have to start actually making games again.
So what you're saying is they're losing some steam.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, Matt, this is why we have you here. Matt, what about video game bigwig?
Half-Life 3, if it's a launch title, which is not going to be for Scorpio or anything like that, I'll go camp outside right now.
I wouldn't bet on it. Matt, what about you?
Honestly, I would hunt down whoever it takes to find out what happened with Thrillipede. That's all I need to know at this point.
That's a valid question.
Legitimately, like, Toys of Life is so intriguing. Like, there's so many weird answers to things.
Yeah, like I'm not even worried about yawn traps or anything. Like, I can explain away, even though it doesn't really make sense. But like, I can. But Thrillipede, I just.
Like, if they had never come back out, if they had never hit Best Buy shelves, it would be like one of those things you just chalk up to, like, all right, they got cut somewhere,
Yep. But the fact that it trickled out and one per store, and apparently we kind of got to figure it out now that it was only high volume stores that got them.
Okay.
Like, internally, Best Buy, they rank their stores.
Okay.
And it was only the high volume stores that got them.
Interesting.
But like I said, even like that in itself is interesting in multiple questions. But But as we said before, the cardboard backer for it is like the U.S. version. It's not like they got imported them from somewhere else. So like they literally ran like a couple hundred of them, and it was like, you know what, that's it. You know, like,
see, and that's the thing that makes me think that there's still got to be more out there somewhere, because there's no way they just made like 500 copies of it and said, oh, okay, we're good. No, they don't do that. It's not cost effective. They wouldn't spend their money on that.
They're sitting in boxes in those top secretive Disney Infinity warehouses that still hold all the other products.
They're going to show up at like a Kohl's in 2 years or something like that. Like, it's going to be like the most random drop ever. You know it's going to happen like that at this point.
Yep.
For me, I don't know who I like Miyamoto. Like, I would just like to talk to him real quick. Like, just see how he's doing, like, check in with him and, like, make sure he's okay, you know? Like, he seems like a happy-go-lucky guy, but, like, is he allowed to leave, like, Nintendo? Like, you know, is he a prisoner? You know, is he being held against his will? That you know, like, blink twice if you need help type of thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Trent's his handler.
Yeah. Man, yeah. There's a lot of people I'd like to just sit down and chat with, but no really big hard-hitting questions. I'll just let things happen. It's all business. Last email of the night. This one is from Guadalupe. Weird coincidence.
That is a weird coincidence.
Hello, guys. It's almost E3, which means it's rumor and speculation time. I'm sure everyone has seen the Mario and Rabbids leaks by this time, but I was wondering if you've seen that it's rumored to have amiibo functionality. My question is, do you think we'll get a Rabbids line of amiibo? I think so, considering the original Rayman Legends pitch video had NFC figurine functionality before amiibo was a thing. Thanks. Yes, Guadalupe. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it will. It absolutely will.
Yeah.
It's way too fun not to. Now, the question is going to be, is it going to be Ubisoft making them or Nintendo making them? So, we'll see.
No, the real question is, will we ever get that Rayman in Smash amiibo?
Gosh,
with all
can
the
you
parts
imagine?
just laying on the ground. So good.
Oh, goodness.
Guadalupe included a PS. He said, the reason I studied 2 majors, because we asked about that last time, was because Dad found out it cost the same to study a business and film major as opposed to just one. So he forced me in order to get more out of my tuition.
Hey man, go big or go home. I when I went, I found out like with my minors, my business minors and stuff, that like you only had to take like 2 more classes and get another minor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, the minors do absolutely nothing, but I graduated with like 4 minors. Why not?
Overachiever. Might as well at that point, right? I mean, if you're that close.
It was fun because it was like, because like political science is my major, and then minor of like public administration was what I was going for, and you only have to take a couple more to get like economics and business administration. And so it's like I'm sitting in like marketing and stuff, and they're like all these, you're supposed to say your name and your major, and I'm like, Jason, political science. And people are like, what? And I like to have a good time. I don't know.
Why not? Guadalupe, you heard Alex asking for your help, so please get a hold of Alex. I'm not going to keep getting emails to each other and reading them on the show. Like, this is going to get weird if you keep this up, so I suggest doing this off air.
I'd be A-okay with that.
Look, if they're good, I'll read them. Let's put it that way. This will be like the personal ads in like a newspaper in like 1970. You guys just keep writing back to each other. It's been a fun show. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. I kind of asked you on a whim today if you wanted to join, and you had that like suspicious, why do you want me on the show type of question.
Well, okay, let's start off with, you just sent me a text message that said hi, which you never do.
That's a solid greeting.
It just said hi. And my first thought was someone stole Josh's phone and is texting random people.
Matt, again, I'm trying to get over my being upset at you. So fake it till you make it type of thing.
Okay.
I get a hey buddy when it's time to talk about podcasts. So you got to get back up on my level, Matt.
All right.
Anyway, Matt, it was always fun. It's always fun. This was fun once again. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to tell the people where they could find you and plug all your stuff and how to look at your house that they can't buy anymore and all that kind of good stuff?
Well, you can always find me personally on Twitter at @AsAMatterOfMatt. If you want Skylander specific stuff, you can find me at SCLMatt. That's going to be the fastest place to find all the latest breaking Skylanders news because that's coming hot and heavy right now. And if for all my other projects, then you can always find go to sclmatt.com, and that'll have links to everything that I'm working on right now.
When's the next SCL news video coming out?
Probably next week.
Whew. Can't wait.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Also, check out the award-winning podcast that Matt and I do together, Tales from Godric's Hollow. We are getting hot and heavy into the Harry Potter series.
It's true.
It's
lots of twists and turns.
Yeah. We're up to episode 49 now, so whew.
Yeah.
Almost through book 4. Good stuff. Good stuff over there. Matt, again, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Jason, buddy of mine, where can people find you at?
You can always follow me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/JasonInquires. Jason Inquires is also my handle on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, so be sure to head over there as well. If you're looking for Toys Life-centric news, always head to Brick Inquirer and Skylanders Inquirer.
Excellent. For me personally, you could find me on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. You could email us anytime you want, especially if you're looking to connect with a fellow buddy for college, from college, to a different college podcast at toysforgames.com. The website is toysforgames.com, of course. Go over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/toysforgames. Go over there, harass Ken. Check out his podcast, him and other community member Adam. They have connected. They are getting the Gotta Watch 'Em All podcast up and going again.
So pumped for them.
Yeah, as they chronicle their way through the Pokemon cartoon episodes and all things Pokemon related. It's nice to see Ken have that fire, that energy again, and Adam's a great addition to that. So you could go over to facebook.com/groups/toysforgames, connect with them there. But definitely give Ken all the support you possibly can with what he has going on. And if you'd like to support us and what we're doing here with giveaways and everything else, you could do so on Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. Don't know if we'll be back next week, depending on what kind of news we do or don't get, but definitely the week of E3, I would expect us to do an episode to talk about anything that was announced, talked about, probably amiibo heavy, but, we are open to surprises, so be on the lookout for that. And until next time, happy hunting, collectors.